Are you wanting to support yourself more? Maybe get a coach, maybe get a program. Yet you're really worried about perhaps what that's going to cost you. And actually, there may be an impact on your self-esteem or confidence. Well, we're going to talk about all of these things today. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then. Now, I wanted to talk about that because I invested into a new coach the other day. And it was a bit of a stretch, admittedly. And I had an idea of how much it might be, just based on what I know of the industry. I made it work though, because I knew if I didn't do that, it would impact my self-esteem and confidence by not sorting out the challenge that I really wanted to sort out with this particular coach. And do you know what? I had such a rise in self-esteem and confidence. Not that it was on the floor, obviously. Well, not obviously. Having the opportunity to speak about it in a place like this, it's not often that my self-esteem's on the floor because of the tools and guidance I've had over the years, and that's what I want to support you with. Yeah, it did really rise it more, and there's always blocks in it, right? There's always opportunities to grow. Sometimes I might be impacted by an external event that I have no control of, right? So I want to be really clear with you, right? First of all, if something doesn't feel right to jump into, don't do it, right? I've been there as well when I've just been like, there's not a good feeling, something instinctively is not right. I just want you to think about though, is it or is it just fear that, you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable? Because I see so many people blocking themselves because of fear gets in the way when they want to jump into something. And I really want to talk about this because I can see when people like going away and, having been in sales, having been in coaching, done my own stuff, when people go away and think about it or kind of go away and they're like, oh no, I'm just going to do this stuff. Like there's a deflated sense of them because they don't believe in themselves that they can do it. And if fear dictates your life more and more, I mean, think about what it's going to cost you. Like I'm talking about here, if you'll want to do something that feels right, yet maybe there's a bit of a block of fear. Okay. Right. Tony Robbins sums us up really well. He said the things that stop human beings is fear, right? It is fear, like whether we recognize it or not. Sometimes we sabotage or hold us back because there's a deep fear that we don't even recognize, okay? Now, it's sometimes not, often in my experience, it's not the fear of like money, of jumping into something. It's often a fear around, oh, what if I do this and it doesn't work, I don't have that certainty. And again, do your due diligence, of course, understand, make sure they got past results, all those kind of things, and you feel right. But there's sometimes this fear like we can't do it. And I've had that fear myself, right? I've had it so many times. And there's a couple of times and I jumped in luckily and it changed my life. There was one time I didn't jump into something and I regretted it since. Luckily, I found some other opportunities. Yeah, there's also the fear of what if I do this and I get judged for it as well. And again, like I want to say this: there's no such thing as certainty. Okay, there is no such thing as certainty in this world. Like what's going to happen now? Think about like decisions you've made in the past a little bit, and when you've had certainty, like why did you have certainty? And ask yourself that as well. Okay. And this may just be the fear of like, what if it doesn't work? What if I'm judged, right? And that's often what it is, just from my own personal experience. And I want to give you some guidance on this in a minute. I'm going to go through a few points as always. But I want to ask you this: how is it helping you by, finding out about a program? And by the way, I'm not promoting anything of mine or anything right here. I just see it as a big struggle for people in general. I've actually got nothing to offer right now. Now, when I see people struggling with things, they're like, oh, oh, well, I tried this. Oh, I'm going to go do some free stuff. Oh, I'm going to do this. Now, I create this podcast as a free resource, and that's great. Yeah, I listen to free stuff. I know I need like higher guidance. I need a coach. I need accountability. I have many different coaches. I've had many different coaches because I need that. And it's not always comfortable. Like, not necessarily all had like, all that money in the bank to give them there and then, but I found a way to make it work. I want to ask you this though, how is it helping you where you are? Because maybe that's not serving you, like trying to do things again and again and not getting the same results is just the definition of insanity. So let's go through a few points and questions you can really ask yourself to really get out of that fear and then start building up that self-esteem and confidence as a result from overcoming some of these fears in investing into yourself. So first of all, you've got to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, like, that's not going to help. There's some very good marketers out there and they can trick you into what you want. So, or making you think they know what you want. Okay. You've got to be clear. Like, there's no certainty. Like I said, there's no certainty in life, but you've got to know what you want. Take some time out, figure it out. And don't worry if you don't know straight away. Like, if something feels right in that moment, you don't have to have a life vision. Like, it can change. I've seen people change theirs many, many times, right? So just know what you want for now. The second one, ask yourself, where can I find someone that supports me? And then obviously do your due diligence, look at their success stories of their own story, that they're not just teaching theory, and actually they've got results from other people. And then the third one, be resourceful and decisive. There's a great quote from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, that says, successful people make decisions very quickly and change them very slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions very slowly and change them very quickly. I mean, which one do you want to be? Obviously, do a little bit of research, understand it. But if you're taking forever, that may be what's got you stuck right now. Okay. And then be resourceful. Like, people, this is a frustration of mine, and this, you may not like what I'm about to say. People can get resourceful to buy a house or a home, right? And I'm not saying that's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying it is possible for a human being to get resourceful when they really want something. Yet we're like, oh no, it's, I can't afford that program or that mentorship, right? How can you get resourceful? Like, people go to the bank, like for a mortgage or something like that for like a house. Yet for our own personal growth, it's like, oh, no, it's out of the question. Now, I'm not saying what's right or wrong for you right now, but ask yourself the honest question, are you being as resourceful as you possibly could be if you really wanted something for your own growth? And think about not only like the personal growth, but actually it'll make you more of a person of value. So, and for me personally, it's grown me as a person of value. Therefore, I've made more of an income as a result from my own personal growth. So, in fact, most successful people I've seen who invest in themselves, they make a lot more money back than actually they're invested in. So that's the guidance I want to give you. Now, the final bonus point I really want to give you is a question, right? It's just going back to certainty, and it's a question for you that really may help. Okay, you may not be certain on the results you're going to get from something. You can have a good feeling instinctively, you can see some good results. There's no certainty in anything in life, right? But can you be certain if what you're doing at the moment is going to, ask yourself, is that going to get you results? Being stuck, going around the same loophole, being in a busy life? Because for me, it didn't do me any favors, right? So that's the question I want to leave you with. It sounds like a bit of a challenge today. Yeah, I don't always want to just be here inspiring. Well, I don't want to inspire you, of course. I don't just want to be here and say, oh, you can be confident, you can do it. I want to tell some hard truths sometimes. And now and then people let fear get the better of them, and it stops them from being who they are. So think about how you can be more resourceful and decisive when things are right for you in your life. Okay, I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.